There was no brain back there. It had fallen out. He said there was such a gap that he could have taken his fist and put his fist in this part of the head. All right? Not consistent with a gunshot wound in the back of the head. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Now, this is what the attending physicians are saying.
More consistent with a fisting video.
Yeah. And we start off with it, and we'll end. Go ahead.
2, 1, now.
And we're live. No, we're not. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
Keep on going. What were you talking about? And people think it's him. They don't. It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah. They insist it's him. You don't know what we're talking about, but that's okay.
Right.
Today, we are going to talk about the mother of all conspiracies and where conspiracy theory started from. John F. Kennedy and his assassination. Were you alive then, Joe?
No.
Neither was I.
I have heard of it.
I've heard of it also. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about facts. This is going to be a long series. What we're going to give you is information that a ton of people have come up with, and we're going to put it all together, probably not in a neat package, I would assume. We'll probably be all over the place.
It'll be a big package.
How many minutes are we in? Wow.
Yeah.
Pervert. Are there any ladies available for Joe?
Yeah.
No, what we want to do is we want to go through everything. We just don't want to go through the magic bullet theory, and I want to go through everything. Today, I really want to concentrate on what we know for a fact. Which, what do we know as a fact? Nothing, I guess.
He's dead.
He is dead. September 22nd, 1963. First of all, I was talking before Kennedy was the President of the United States. He started running, he was running against Richard Nixon, who was Eisenhower's vice president. Correct. They can't hear your head shake.
Yeah. I'll shake harder then.
As we know, Eisenhower's the one who gave the speech at the end of his career on the, military...
military-industrial complex.
And warned us against, even though I think he was part
From what I
of it.
understand, he tried to take that out. He tried to take the military-industrial complex out. Was it had to do with Area 51 and all that stuff too? Another conspiracy theory, but
Yeah, well,
it wasn't called conspiracy theory at that point.
no, it was called real fact.
Yeah.
This is where it came from. Isn't that what you, this is the first I've ever heard of conspiracy theory.
That is, they invented that phrase for the assassination.
And what?
They didn't believe that, you don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did that on his own. That's conspiracy theory.
And we covered this before, but what is it? Why did they make that up? Why did they make that word? They didn't make the word up to discredit.
Yeah, to discredit anybody that, and make you be ashamed of thinking that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I better not say anything because I'll be labeled a conspiracy theorist. But now people are proud of being a conspiracy theorist.
I am
not
thrilled.
saying I am, but
he is.
But I am. Not saying I'm proud of it, but I am.
I thought I was bad.
Oh, you are.
But Joe thinks reptilians live next door to him. So, so conspiracy theorist was put out there because to discredit, to make you feel stupid, ashamed of yourself. And they even use it today They're calling Donald Trump a conspiracy theorist over the stuff that's going on with him now.
Well, you know, it's kind of turned back around. They've said the people that are like for the Russian collusion are conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
You know, it's like they're using their own phrase against them.
and I think anyone who who uses their mind and thinks for themselves,
Logical.
yep,
Thinks logically.
is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with questioning.
If you doubt what comes from the Ministry of Truth,
Yeah,
you know.
and we talked about, how many times does somebody have to lie to you until you question everything they say to you?
Yeah.
I mean, we can go through a list of stuff that the government's lied to us about. And this, the more you study it, the more in depth you get into it. The other nations, honestly, laugh at us because people believe Oswald killed Kennedy.
Yeah.
They laugh at us.
Yeah.
No one has been brought to justice over this at all because that was our sound guy. He's doing good at making sound. Because Lee Harvey Oswald did it. So there you go. So we'll go into what.
And that's why they had to kill him, because he was going to admit that he was alone.
Yeah.
You know, because the truth wasn't going to come out or anything, so.
No. And then Jack Ruby dies of. But we're going to get into all this. So, because we're going to go off on Jode's little side road and we're just going to.
Hold on, it's going to get bumpy.
He jerks the wheel. He really does.
Yeah.
But Jack Kennedy ran for Senate. And did he win his first time running for Senate? John.
Yeah, Jack is short for John.
I have no idea. I just hear people, Joe, you are no Jack Kennedy.
Yeah. I've heard Jack Kennedy. You are no Jack Kennedy.
Yeah. Sir, I knew Jack Kennedy. I worked with Jack Kennedy.
Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine.
Yeah. You are no Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy could spell potato.
Right.
Little reference to an Indiana boy, Dan Quayle.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him? They said, get off the stage, you're making a fool of us.
Yeah. So, one term.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he even make a run for president?
I don't think so.
No.
I think he'd make a ran for the exit.
But did he win his first try on the Senate? I believe he did. He was a young man. I may be wrong on that fact. I didn't research much before he became president. But we do know that a fact that they kept Johnson to win the South. Or they brought Johnson aboard as vice president.
So that when they kill Kennedy, they're guys in office.
Yeah. Well, they brought him aboard because of the conservatives down in Texas and down in the southern states. They asked him to be.
Of course, that might be their story. We'll tell everybody this.
And of course, but I'm just going by what. I mean, maybe not what we know. I don't think anything we know for a fact. But that's kind of obvious. Bobby hated Johnson. Obviously, Hoover hated Kennedy. Well, yeah, in his dress.
Oh, I was referring to the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, yes.
Hoover. That was a long stretch. I'm ashamed of that one.
But
I'll make some jokes that only I laugh at.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
That's all right, because you're good enough.
Yeah.
People like you, Joe.
Yeah.
No, but they brought Johnson on, and Bobby was livid that that his brother would bring Johnson aboard on this thing. Because Bobby ran the whole show as far as getting Bobby and his daddy's money to get JFK elected. And there was dealings with the mob, the Chicago mob, and promises made. And then Kennedy went right after the mob. That's one thing that we'll cover when we get into the conspiracy of the assassination. But I think Bobby didn't want Johnson as vice president. Well, they won, and it was the narrowest win in presidential and election history. I mean, it was like 51% to like 48% or something. I mean, it was like really narrow margins that Kennedy won by.
Well, if you're going by the popular vote,
it don't matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
but
because
it was
people have actually won the popular vote and lost. So.
Yeah, well, and I believe this was the electoral college that it was the narrowest win. But Tricky Dick did get in there, so that's what she said.
Yeah.
But go ahead and laugh at something I said. Thank you.
Dick and Johnson.
Yeah, they both got in there. So, well, before, and this is a question that was actually asked by Lyndon Baines Johnson before he decided. I don't know if you even know this. Before he decided to campaign for vice president, he went to his staff and asked them to research what's the chances of a vice president becoming president. What's my chances? He goes, well, because he was running for president too. He was campaigning, as a delegate for president at the same time. And he asked them, what's the chances? How many presidents die in office or get assassinated in office? What's my chances? And the answer was 1 in 5. Yep.
20%.
And he said, you know what? It's not the greatest odds in the world, but I'm going to roll them dice. And boy, did he roll those dice. So a 1 in 5 chance, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be the most powerful man in the world, or considered the most powerful man in the world.
And you can increase some chances.
Oh, you can make that 100% if you really want to.
Yeah.
So anyway, they ran, they won. So 1960s, they run, they win, and I don't think people realize that. I don't think they understand. There's Bobby Kennedy and Johnson. You can pretty much see the disdain in Bobby's eyes towards Johnson. Not a big fan.
Yeah.
But maybe a necessary evil to win the South. I don't know.
I think it was a necessary evil for the what you want to call the deep state, or look, you put our guy on there on your ticket, or you ain't gonna win.
Yeah. I can buy that too. I mean, I can see it both ways. I don't think either way it matters.
I think it was more they were more trying to win the South over. They're more trying to win the deep state over.
The only thing that bothered me about Nixon, I mean, and this is before the assassination, no one dreamt this was going to happen, is Lyndon Johnson asking his staff, how often does somebody die as president? What's my chances of becoming president? I mean, if you're going to be vice president and you want to be president,
but you know
is that a
something
question
too
you
is
ask?
that, like you said, they put it out there in your face.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, what do you think chances I'm president?
Oh yeah, and and what he's talking about, you want to tell him what we were talking about earlier about how they put everything right there. They do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Georgia Guidestones,
They basically they tell you what
airport.
They tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. It's like a rule with them. Yeah. I mean, and when we say them, who are we talking about? Would you call that the deep state?
The deep state, people think, oh, the deep state. Well, okay, then these central bankers, the people that go to the Bilderberg meetings, the people that are so rich they're not on the Forbes 500.
Yeah.
They own the Forbes 500.
Yeah. That's a fact. And that's true. I mean, that's in Bilderberg. There's another thing. I know we're getting off topic, but we're gonna go down this trail.
Steering hard.
Yeah.
To
Bilderberg.
The ditch, the gutter.
I mean, it was like the mid '90s, where before that was a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
There was no
And now
Bilderberg.
it's just accepted.
It's just everybody understands, and that goes against the Logan Act when our politicians go and meet with other countries talking about political moves and shit. I mean, isn't that against the Logan Act? I mean, that's a crime.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can pull up the Logan Act and what it is, because Joe looked at me with a blank stare of what the Logan Act was.
No, I know what the Logan Act is.
Oh, okay.
I was just, my mind was looking for that gutter.
Okay. Never mind then. If people want to know what the Logan Act, go ahead and Google
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. The Logan Act.
But see, we're talking about, when people are like, oh, because I made comments about like, well, not. My daughter had said something about, well, do you think that 9/11 was an inside job, or do you think that it was Bush? And I said, no, it's the people that own Bush. And,
yeah, if you think the president runs the country,
and I'm sure she didn't believe me, or like, nobody owns the president. Yeah, but that made me think. There was a picture I saw where the Pope was kissing the ring of a Rothschild.
Oh yeah, a real picture?
Yeah, no, it was a real picture.
Wow,
it was a real picture. The Pope kissing the ring of I don't remember which Rothschild it was.
Can we add something funny to this video? Kidding me? I want people to see this. I just want people to see this. I mean, this is a really important topic, serious topic. But
fat guy leg leaf.
There's the Logan Act. Just look it up. Look up the Logan Act. Read it. Basically what it is. Joe, tell them what it is.
A single federal statute making it a crime for a citizen to confer with foreign government against the interests of the United States.
There you go. And that's what they do at the Bilderberg. They talk about world policy, how they want the world to go. And everybody's going, oh, what a bunch of nuts.
There's so many things that are unconstitutional, too, that somebody owns all the currency in this country. It's a private industry to own, it says right in the Constitution, you shall not issue any money that's not backed by gold or silver.
Yep.
We
got rid of that real quick.
Of course, we just took the money off the gold standard temporarily.
Yes.
Tricky Dick Nixon.
Yeah.
We're gonna temporarily take it off.
Yeah, he knew what. Yeah.
And
a lot of this, guys, you won't believe how much ties back to this man right here. And I'm not sitting here saying that JFK was the greatest president we ever had just because he's dead. I mean, a lot of times they give dead people a sainthood. I'm sorry, if you were an asshole when you were alive, you're an asshole when you're dead.
And the other thing too is that they give them sainthood when they die, but they also, you know what? I can say what I want about you because you're dead.
Yeah.
It's like, and so they can slander the man too.
Yeah.
It's and people are gonna think I'm nuts that the federal government controls the information.
Oh.
I
think anybody who
the books.
I think anybody who knows anything about media matters and all that, who Hillary's buddies on the committee for that. Rosenthal, was that Rosenthal? The email guy.
For
who should she get them all the emails for? Forget Benghazi. He wasn't even the
Oh,
Obama.
I know who you're talking
The
about.
Obama, the Obama administration wouldn't even hire him.
Right.
For the, she wanted him in the state.
Blumenthal. Sidney Blumenthal.
Yeah, he worked for Media Matters. He worked for the Clinton Foundation. He was over in Libya at.
It was a Guccifer that was, and that's kind of how they found out about Hillary Clinton's emails. Guccifer was trying to sell Sidney Blumenthal's emails. He'd hacked in and sold all the emails, and there were emails from at Clinton.com or ClintonEmail.com.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a government.
Yeah.
That's not a government email. ClintonEmail.com? What's that in there for?
Listen. And here's the funny thing. You talk to your parents, and when you talk to your parents or grandparents, they're like, well, government wasn't this crooked when I was young.
Yeah.
No, you just didn't have the resources to know how crooked your government is. It's like we talked about today. If you are ignorant of anything that you want to know, pretty much you're stupid. I mean, because you're willingly ignorant.
But the thing of it is, too, a lot of that information out there might not be right. So you have to really
read,
think logically,
and read.
Does that make sense? Where does it come from? What's the source?
And read.
Does it fit in? And read.
Read is a 4-letter word in this country now. No one reads.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't just look at and I know Joe's the same way. I just don't look at a YouTube video and go, oh, well, that's what it is. I'm going to take that as face value. If you do that, you're a fool. If you watch us and take everything we say at face value, you're an idiot. I'll tell you right now, you're an idiot. Lost half our subscribers. No, you need to research everything we say. And if we're wrong, I've already admitted where I was wrong or said something wrong.
I've admitted where you were wrong, too.
I know. He'll do it all the time. But where were we? Oh, I wanted to add this.
All over the place.
Yes.
Everywhere.
And if you watch us, you know we never stick to the topic. But we are going to stick with this. We're just going to... We're just going to
work our way back.
Have you seen the video where the Pope is at this cathedral somewhere, and the people are trying to kiss his ring, and he smacks them?
Yes, I did see that. I did. They come up there and he's like...
search that video real quick. Pope. People try to kiss Pope's ring. Go ahead and search it on...
Yeah.
I watched that. I forgot who I saw that on. But you would think, like, after the second person got slapped in the head, they would stop. And just kept going. And
I got slapped too.
I kept thinking to myself, what would Jesus do? Oh. Watch it. I don't think this is the one. No, the Pope
pulling his hands away there.
Pope hitting people trying to kiss his ring. Oh,
that might have been it.
Pope ring. There, go back. Just go to that 49-second one. Maybe that'll be the good one. If you can.
regard to why Pope Francis prevented people from kissing his ring in a video that now has gone viral. According to Alessandro Gisotti, the Pope did this for hygienic reasons. This is because there was a very long line of people, and he wants to avoid the spread of germs. This isn't the first time he's removed his hand, but it is perhaps the most striking example. Pope Francis has no problem caressing the sick and receiving hugs. However, he tries to avoid what seems courteous or aristocratic. For this reason, the Pope often uses strong gestures, such as this, in order to show that he doesn't want to be treated differently.
You didn't have a problem letting that chick hug him, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got 1 billion Catholics after me. No, but I watched this video. It wasn't on there, but man, he walloped somebody.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I laughed my ass off. Oh, I wish we could have got it, but we didn't. Thank you for trying, Connor. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Connor helps out on our, well, basically Connor and Justin, our sons, basically do our videos. We just sit up here and do stupid. I don't know. They do all the work. We do nothing.
You're like the Pat Sajak, I'm like the Van. I just,
You guys
You just
look
look
good and
eye
touch the letters,
candy.
you know?
All right, Vanna.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, where are we? Okay, they get elected. People don't realize. I don't think they realize that John F. Kennedy didn't even serve a full term, and how much shit was packed into those 3 years. You had the Bay of Pigs. Let's talk. You know about the Bay of Pigs. You don't have to do any research on that. What happened was we didn't have our topic. I had our topic. Joe had no idea what our topic was for today. It was. And Joe works tons of hours. So getting a hold of Joe and him being able to study anything is almost impossible at the present time. So
I'll get there.
He'll get there. But right now, he's a workaholic right now. But he still comes here and does this. And that should tell you something that we love our sons. So we do. Yeah, we're dedicated to it. We don't make no money off this.
Don't forget that you're gay for each other.
Yeah, we don't make any money off this. It costs us money. It really does. Joe being away from work, me, the cameras, everything.
And I donated this cord.
Yes, he donated that cord about 5 years ago. But none of the stuff's free. We can't, the kids do it because they enjoy doing it, helping out their dads. But we do it because it's important to us, and we believe in liberty. We believe in freedom, and we're tired of.
I believe in not talking about JFK because you guys are getting
I can hear you. But we just, we're tired of those that don't have to follow the rules making the rules for us.
So, the Bay of Pigs.
Wow, did you see Joe pulled me on track? Holy cow.
At least all I can do all the times you pulled me up out of the gutter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bay of Pigs. I think Kennedy was a real prick for doing what he did.
But too, is like I say, the information has been written by the people that
the information that
win.
But the information on that was given while he was still alive. So I have a hard time, and if people don't know what the Bay of Pigs is we wanted to overthrow, the United States wanted to overthrow Castro from Cuba. So the CIA got together with a bunch of Cuban, were they immigrants or people that were in the United States? People. To go over and
support them in
a coup to overthrow Castro. And all they asked is, they asked Kennedy, hey, could we get air support from you? And he said, yes, you will get air support. Now, this is fairly within in the beginning of his presidency. So the CIA invaded the beach, waited on the air support, and not just the CIA. We're talking just about regular people that wanted to win their country back. They wanted freedom for their country. And the planes never came. Air support never came.
They had air.
Yeah, they had air,
Yeah.
but that's all. They had no planes, no
I
jets.
didn't know you meant planes. I was going to give you air support.
Yeah. And if they weren't killed, they were taken prisoner. And the CIA. And this is where I believe the assassination of JFK
But too,
started.
he said he was going to take the CIA out, and the CIA was bad. They were bad people.
Well, I believe that.
I always wonder what was going on behind the scenes too that we don't know about.
Well, and I always wonder that. But here's the thing that
because the CIA, the clowns in America.
Yeah, well, there's good people in the CIA. I refuse to believe every agent in the CIA is a bad person.
I don't know.
I don't believe that. I believe.
I think two people have good intentions. They go in the CIA and they get put on bad missions, and it's like, oh, they end up doing bad things for bad people. And
if you
get trapped in a bad spot. You know what I mean?
As everybody everybody knows that you were in the service. If you were called, I don't think Afghanistan is a good war.
Right.
But if you were called,
I did not know. What? I mean, they tell you, look, these people are bad.
Go kill them.
Take them out, kill them. And you're trusting their word.
So that's like saying that you, as a soldier, if you were called to Afghanistan,
so that's why I
did a bad job,
right.
They had you do a bad job. You did your job, but it was morally wrong. Yeah. I don't believe you're a bad person.
And the thing too is, I suppose, like in the CIA, you going in as a good person, then you realize something they're bad. You can't get out of it.
No, and I believe you're still a good person. Yeah. Because
I would concur with that statement.
I believe the CIA, the FBI, the military, I believe it's all the same. You go in because you want to serve your country. I believe majority.
Patriots.
I believe
I'm a patriot. I want to do this for all Americans.
And I believe and a lot of servicemen get out of the service and they join the CIA or they join the FBI. Or get in, not join, but are admitted into the FBI. But we bring up that war. Kennedy sent advisors over to Vietnam, over to that war. I don't think that was a good war. When you have to kill a president that to get over a South Vietnamese president who says, hey, I don't want you over here. It's not your war. And we kill him so we can go. And, if you do the history on Vietnam, we were on Ho Chi Minh's side for a long time. I mean, when they won their freedom from France, when Ho Chi Minh gave a speech in the town square, it was our Declaration of Independence. He pretty much copied what Thomas Jefferson wrote down. I mean, it was like the same thing. And then we started supporting the French. Them were our guys. And our guys can't do wrong. We've talked about that before, like with the president. Joe's a strong believer of, I don't have a guy.
Yeah.
I'll support what he stands for as long as it's the right thing.
I'll support issues.
Yeah.
And I'll call you out if I think something's wrong.
And that's the way we all should be. I think we all we all want a team to root for.
And the thing I'm realizing too is like we might not know the reason they're doing something. It might come clear later. But you know, it's like Q says, trust the plan.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but trust me.
Yeah. And we're going to get into a lot of Q stuff because Joe talks about Q all the time. And sometimes I think he's a little nutty. But sometimes he showed me where I'm like, how in the hell did he know that? And it can't be coincidences because it's so on the money that you couldn't guess.
Yeah. And you could like look up Q proofs.
Yeah.
And some of it's like it's a little bit of a stretch, but some of it's like
yeah,
it's blatant, you know.
I've seen a few where they're like, and see, they talk in like code.
Yeah, and some of that.
So when you're an idiot like me, you have. I mean, look at these guys, man. I mean, these are young kids, average age 19 years old over there, taken from.
Big Red One.
Yeah.
1st Infantry.
Is that what you were part of?
No.
No.
I just recognize the patches.
I mean, these are kids we sent over there. They became men real quick. But to say they're...
And there's a reason they take kids.
Yeah, because
they get to a certain place. You want me to what?
Yeah. Go up that hill.
What?
No. Yeah.
You go up that hill.
Bring up the... Where all the other pictures? Yeah, right here. That one that you just had up. I mean, this is somebody's. Look at these kids.
Yeah.
They just got hit with napalm. She has her flesh hanging off of her. I don't see that as being a good war. No. Them could be my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if that don't tug at you a little bit, you don't have kids, first of all. I mean, and we did this, guys. This is our... And I'm not blaming these men right here. I'm not blaming them. They're not who did it. They were called to do a job. Like Joe said.
They were told to trust me, and they
do it.
And they trusted them.
And a lot of them saw this bullshit right here. Right here. And they came home, and they said no.
That's why there's, a few soldiers still today commit suicide.
Yeah.
Every 20 minutes or something like that, if somebody a soldier commits suicide, they saw a lot of stuff like that.
And worse. I mean, this is mild.
So not just stuff that they saw, but stuff that they did. There was a guy who was talking about they're in the middle of a firefight. The bad guys on that side. It was a big square in the middle of town. They're firing there. They're firing back, and he sees two silhouettes running right at him.
Kill him.
And he fired on them. Turned out it was a mom and her 12-year-old daughter trying to get out of the crossfire.
And the North Vietnamese were famous. They're gonna live
with that forever.
And the North Vietnamese were famous for going into villages, shooting, and the poor villagers. And listen, when you get 19-year-old boys, men, I'll call them men because they're soldiers, over in another country fighting a war where they're seeing their buddies getting killed, you can't help but start hating those people.
Yeah.
You hate them. They killed your friends. And then you go into a village where they're full of these people that you're supposed to be helping, and they have rice and weapons for the North Vietnamese. But here's the problem with this. Them villagers are in the middle because if they don't hold the rice and the weapons for the North Vietnamese, they're going to kill them. And if the Americans, if the Americans find them, we kill them or take them prisoner. And
they just want to grow rice.
Yeah, they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And that goes back to us just being Americans. Let us grow frickin' rice. Leave us alone, government.
Yeah.
If I want to grow rice, if I want to grow weed, let me grow it.
You have to have your permit.
Yeah.
For everything.
To repair my basement.
Yeah.
I have to get a permit.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You have to have permission. We will let it fall in on you.
Yeah.
But you want to fix it. You got to get permission for that.
Yeah. Ridiculous. And it's a money-making scam. So, you look at this and you go, man, that's horrible. Well, imagine you being told, "Hey, you got to go do this." Then you see the results of what
You're doing.
you did, dude. If there wasn't something wrong up here before,
I think it was an episode of MASH where the guy, Hawkeye was giving the guy grief. He was a
pilot,
bomber.
And he never saw.
And then they're bringing these people in that were bombed. And he's like, look.
This is what you're doing.
That's on the ground.
Yeah, you don't see what you do. Yeah. And a lot of the...
And he didn't want to see what he did.
Yeah. And I forgot what it is. Only like 20-some% of the guys taking over, or maybe 30, were actual grunts in Vietnam.
Yeah, I think it was less than that. I think it was probably like 20.
20-some%.
Maybe even less. I'm not sure.
So a lot of guys over there didn't see what we were.
You have a lot of support people.
Yeah. Oh, tons.
You gotta have supply people. You have to get people, the ammunition people. You have to have the cooks. You have to have the intelligence people. The people with the maps. You have to.
So, I want to reiterate this. Joe being ex-military and stuff, and I just want to say, I think I can speak for both of us when I say we support our troops.
Yeah.
We love them guys. We don't like what the government has them doing. But it's their job to do what they're told to do. And I tell me the last war, Joe, that had to do anything with my freedom.
Yeah. It's like, they're over there fighting for our freedom. So how did our freedom get over there?
Yeah. And that's not to take away the sacrifice that I have had a friend die over in Afghanistan. I'm sure you know guys that have died in the military. That's not to take away from what they are. And they are heroes. They gave their life for their country. I believe that. But I think the older you get, like you were talking, they love 18, 19-year-olds. There's a reason. Yeah. The older you get, I think you start realizing I'm not fighting for the flag. I'm not fighting for my country. I'm fighting for that guy next to me.
Yeah.
And I think the older you get, and the more you're in country,
and you start to realize you're fighting for false information. You've been lied to. You're fighting for a lie.
And how many people have I heard when they were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan? I've heard these people, and I'm sure you've all heard them too. I'm not going over there to kill poor people.
Yeah.
Here's my question, Joe: is that if somebody invaded this country, who's the bad guy?
The people that sent them here.
Not
the people coming in the country.
But here's my question: if I kidnap a family member, and you didn't mind the United States, but you're an Afghani, and I take your son because we think he might be involved with a terrorist organization. We take him, we send him to Gitmo. If you weren't an enemy,
you are now.
You are now, buddy.
And that's, I hear people talk about, people that are libertarians, talk about their Ron Paul moment.
Yeah.
When he was running for president, and he stood up there, and they were calling him, "Oh, you're a
chicken hawk."
No, not Ron Paul.
Okay.
You're a isolationist because you don't want to go over there and bomb them other countries and stuff. You're an isolationist. You want to just stay in our little. And that's what he was saying. He said, no. He said, we have this because we go over there and we bomb them.
Yep.
And then I think it was Giuliani, because he was running also, and he called him out on it and tried to get him to back. And I was like, no, I'm not backing down. That's, because they always do. They walk things back. They put something out there, then they walk it back. It's like, no, I'm not walking that back.
Yeah.
And he went off, and people are like, wow. That moment right there, that people call that the Ron Paul moment, that I was.
Yeah, I watch. I woke
up right there. I was like, wow, that's not that's not where I became a libertarian. I was a libertarian and I didn't know it.
But you, and I guess Joe always tells me, as you know, that I'm a libertarian and I don't know it. But I have problems with, and I know that you have problems with some people's beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
I have issues with the Libertarian Party. I have issues with. We're never going to agree 100%
Well, the thing
with
with me
anyone.
is like libertarians want you to be free. How can you have a problem with it? How can you argue? It's like, I don't want to be free. Like,
I understand that part.
You know,
I understand that part, but
It
I
just amazes
forgot.
me,
I
that's
forgot.
all.
I forgot what I was thinking of, and it was like, man,
I just
there-
knocked it out of your head.
you did. But anyway, back to why I bring up Afghanistan and Vietnam. I think we have more
We were talking
Vietnam
about the Bay of
pictures.
Pigs.
Yeah, we were talking about the Bay of Pigs and what Kennedy did,
Put them on the beach.
but
and
also
not support 'em.
and then didn't support him.
Right.
Well, another thing we were talking about Eisenhower is he warned us about the military industrial complex, which is what, Joe? Explain that in detail. So, I mean, we didn't know this stuff. And I think that's a problem with a lot of people's shows or a lot of people's broadcasts is they bring up this stuff, but they don't explain what it is. So if you're a novice,
Yeah.
you have no idea what they're talking about.
Right. And you know, there's a lot of the stuff I watch. One video I just saw recently was I think it was from the Michael Tellinger video.
All right.
Zeg TV, ZEG. It's on YouTube.
We'll give them a plug.
Yeah, Zeg TV. And he was talking about it was World War II where I think it was Bush's grandpa, George H.W.'s grandpa, was
Prescott Bush.
I'm not sure if it was Prescott or not. I think it was his dad, wasn't it? Or,
Well, George, we have George Jr. and George Sr. and George Sr.'s dad was Prescott Bush.
but one of them was pretty much selling weapons to both sides.
Yeah, and he owned his own bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was selling to Nazis.
Selling weapons to here. I'm gonna
And
poke
they-
you and poke you and
they
make you
took
fight each other, and then I'll sell you weapons, and I'll sell you weapons too.
and they took his bank away from him, and then they gave it right back to him.
Yeah, we'll
I
teach
mean,
you.
Yeah.
Here's your bank.
Yeah. We were wrong.
Yeah,
We wanted to support the winners.
yeah.
So, but the reason I bring this up
But
is
we're talking about the military-industrial complex.
yeah. Go ahead.
That's basically, you know, we're gonna make wars, and we're gonna make lots of money.
Profiting by war.
Yeah.
Whether they're
Imagine
moral or not.
Imagine if the world all of a sudden was peaceful now. There's no fighting.
Oh,
What would happen to the Skunk Works? Which one's that? Lockheed Martin.
oh,
What would happen to
Boeing.
Boeing? What would I think like Boeing, they could sell airplanes to, but not
Colt?
not the big money. Not the big money. Yeah. Colt,
Yeah. Tons of them. Armalite. The United States' main export right now is war,
mhm.
and that's what we profit from. The industrial company, we don't,
Yeah.
but those who own those companies make big money.
Right.
But yes, we had the Bay of Pigs. I think Kennedy did the wrong thing and didn't support the CIA, and that's where I believe the plot of getting rid of Kennedy or hating Kennedy real bad began. Now we're talking about a 3-year stretch of being president. Okay, so the Bay of Pigs happened.
Like I said, I wonder what all went on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All I want to really, all that we're really wanting to talk about today is what we do know.
Yeah.
And we do know that Kennedy, and he admitted that he pulled, whether his story was true or the CIA stories are true, I'm sure the truth is right in between both of their stories. But I think that was a real douche move right there to promise these people air support. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You get sent to the front line, you're told, hey, we got your bags. Whoops, I changed my mind. That's a dickhead move. But is it worth killing somebody over? not a president. No, I don't believe so. But he changed his mind. Kind of a dickhead move. Maybe it was smart because Cuba's how small?
It's small.
And we want to a big bully going in and bombing. Also, we know that Castro had the support of the Russians. That could cause a big problem. So maybe he did the right thing, maybe he didn't. All right, but I believe that's what started the hatred for Kennedy.
Yeah.
That's my belief. But then we go to Vietnam.
Then you're talking about the industrial complex. It's like, these countries that we go to war with. It's like, we got to increase our military budget. We need new rocket launchers and we really got to build up our forces because next week the 9th Ranger Battalion is going up against Troop 150 of the Girl Scouts. It's like we're so depleted now that
we can't defeat them and they're still cookies.
Yeah. It's like
Kennedy did not send ground forces to Vietnam. He sent advisors to Vietnam. We gave them weapons. I don't believe Kennedy believed it was a just war. I don't believe he should. I didn't believe he. I don't believe Johnson at first thought it was a good idea to go to Vietnam. I believe he's the one who said, we're not going to send American boys 10,000 miles away to do the job that the Vietnam boys should be doing on their own. But Kennedy said that he was going to start pulling out troops.
When you say, well, he didn't want to go to war, I always think that's almost like Warren Buffett saying, man, I really wish he would raise my taxes. They don't steal enough from me. I tried to talk him into taking more.
I honestly don't think Kennedy. I honestly don't.
You're talking about Johnson.
I do not. Yeah.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't believe John Kennedy. I do not believe he wanted to be in Vietnam.
I don't think so either.
I think he felt a personal responsibility for those that he did send, which advisors got killed during when we were over there.
Well, the advisors you're talking about, that's the Green Beret.
Yeah.
Military Advisors Committee in Vietnam, MACV. It's the MACV. That's the Special Forces patch.
Huh.
My platoon sergeant in Alaska, Captain Charles Fighting Bear Red Door, Native American.
Oh wow.
It was like 4 or 5 tours in Vietnam, Special Forces.
Wow. Wow. 4 or 5 tours.
Something like that, yeah. He had supposedly he had a P3 profile, which means
I have explained to them real quick.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
A P3 profile is you're injured enough that you don't have to do physical training and they will not kick you out of the Army. You can do you don't have to do any PT, no physical training, because you're injured enough. But you're valuable enough of a soldier that they want you in. So he had a P3 profile. So he didn't have to work out or anything at all. But he'd go on like runs with us and stuff. But from what I understand is he had a plastic heel or something from stepping on a landmine. He had a messed up back from falling out of a helicopter onto a riverbank.
Oh wow!
And so he was pretty messed up, but man, he could run.
Really?
It was like, and he was much older than me. It seemed like he was a real old man, but because I was like, 19, 20, so he's probably like 35. But I mean, so to me, he was an old man.
Yeah.
But I look back now, it's like, not that old, I guess. But
now he is.
And we'd go on runs, and it's like, I'm not letting that guy with the back and forth, I'm not letting him beat me, you know?
Maybe that's why he went on them runs.
Yeah. So he could taunt everybody, you know, I guess. But I mean, that was motivation. It's like, I know that guy screwed up. I'm going to cross before he does. You know? And we'd run miles and miles and miles, you know, and it's like...
Wow. So he had to do what is that, a P3?
It's a P3 profile. It's you don't have to do physical training. And you every year you have to take a PT test. You have to run two miles in a certain amount of time. You have to do X amount of push-ups and X amount of sit-ups. And you get a score on it. You know.
And he didn't have to do that no more.
Didn't have to do that.
So what was
this
his rank?
There were guys in my unit. There was a guy, and you know, you get. I think a perfect run was 2 miles was 13 minutes and 5 seconds, and then you had to do, I don't know, 60 or 80 push-ups for perfect score and 60 or 80 sit-ups, something like that, and you get 100 points for each one. So a perfect score is 300. And it was a guy, Sergeant Warder. He was from, something else that amazed me too, because it was people that, you know, when I joined up, and it said on the thing, say, what country are you from? Like, this is the U.S. Army. What do you mean, what country are you from? There were guys in my unit were from Guam.
Oh, wow.
From Canada, you know, the Philippines.
Wow.
Mexico. I'm like, wow. You know, well, this one guy, he was from Canada. And he had a broken arm. And they're like, well, you don't have to take the physical training test. You know, you don't have to, you know, take the test. He's like, I'll take it. And he got, with his arm in a cast, he got perfect score on push-ups and sit-ups. And a perfect run is 13.05. He ran 2 miles in 10.00.
Wow.
He ran 2 5-minute miles with his arm in a cast.
Wow.
I'm like, dang.
What was yours? Or do you not want to say?
My best score was 11:12.
Oh, wow. That's real good.
Yeah.
Could you do that still?
No. I can do a mile in 11:12.
Yeah.
But yeah, that time I ran 11:12, we were training down in Fort Lewis, Washington, with a bunch of LRPs. It was like LRP training, long range patrol reconnaissance surveillance.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like looking down on us, like, you know, we're bad, and they got all these bolo badges, scuba, halo, hey-ho, all these halo, high altitude, low altitude, halo, high altitude, high opening. You jump out with a square chute, you glide in 10 miles, scuba badges and stuff like that. And I had like an air assault badge, and I'm like, if I had that, I wouldn't even wear it. And I'm like, well, you don't have it, so. You know, I didn't have the scuba and the halo and all that crap, but I had an air assault badge. But so they're talking all this crap, and then we're doing the 2 mile run. It was a 1 mile track all the way around. I get down to the other, go around a second time, and I'm like way out ahead of them, and because I'm gonna show them. I'm running as hard as I can. I turn around, I look. They're crossing the middle of the. I'm like, what? They're taking a shortcut across the middle. I'm like, I was pissed. I was like, they're not beating me in, and I ran. I literally crossed the finish line puking.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, they're not beating me in. So like they ran, 2.5 miles. I ran. No, they ran like 1.5, and I ran 2.
Wow.
And I was like, they're talking all this crap, and they're shortcutting the field. Like,
that's one thing about the military too, is that there's a lot of competition.
Oh, there is, and they.
But here's the thing that people don't know: if you are in a community, in that kind of community, that there's a lot of shit talking, and there's a lot of we're better than you. But you go into a bar and have some guy mess with another guy, they got each other's backs. I don't care if they're a Marine, Army, Navy. Now, if a Marine messes with the Army guy, you're going to have two Army
Yeah.
Marines fighting. But
You know what? That's almost like the the Middle Eastern thing. Me against my brother, but me and my brother against my cousin. Me and my cousin against a stranger.
yeah,
And it's so we had competition amongst our squads. Our patrols, whatever. And we would do things like, okay, we're out at a school somewhere, and we're off for the weekend. It's like, okay, bowling. I was like, I don't know how to throw a ball. It's like, and we'll make some kind of bet on the thing, and there's a lot of strong competition between each squad. But then that squad, we were competing against another squad. Now we're together.
yeah.
Now our unit is competing against another unit.
Yeah.
Or our base is competing against another base. So there's multiple layers of competition. And then some things you might be like, the Army versus the Air Force, or something like that.
Then all the guys are together.
Right. The guy that you're competing against, desperately.
He's your buddy
violently now. Hey, you're on my team, and we're against that guy.
Yeah.
And it was fun, really. And they promote competition to make you push yourself, and I knew it.
Yeah.
And I didn't care.
If you know the head games that beforehand, it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
But where were we? Military industrial complex. You explained it. So, what happened is he said, John Kennedy said that, we're not going to, as a matter of fact, we're going to start bringing boys home from Vietnam. A lot of people didn't like that idea. They wanted...
No, we got to stay in there and make money.
It's about money. So...
in fact, we went there on false pretenses.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
So, people didn't like that. That's number 2 about the assassination for me. That's number 2. Then you have the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now we're talking, again, in the span of 3... It's a lot of shit going on. Not to mention civil rights movement, poverty, all the stuff that's going on. Not to mention that. Then we have the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is we sent U-2 spy planes over Cuba. It was U-2, right? Spy planes?
Yes, it was me also.
U-2.
That band.
And we saw nuclear missile sites.
Well, what they realized was, did you ever see like the C-5A Galaxy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a huge plane. They were building a runway, or actually the Avanov, the Russian one. I don't know what
it's huge.
That is bigger than the C-5A Galaxy.
Yeah, it is
so
huge.
They see them building this runway with 10-foot concrete for a mile, and it's like, you're not landing 747. That's overkill for a 747. You're bringing in these Russian
planes, jets.
I can't remember what you call them.
Cargo.
Look up the biggest Russian airplane.
Oh, it's monstrous. How many wheels does that thing have? The landing gear?
All of them. It has all of them.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah. Half in the cough, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the name is, but I know it's a monster.
Anytime make up a Russian word in the ends and cough.
Cough. Just like anything Polish ends in ski.
Yeah.
You know what that is.
Ski means sun.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Do you know that if you want
so Sata ski means Sata sun?
Sutkowski, actually. KOW means town.
The plane is an Antonov An-225 Maria.
Can we bring a picture up there?
Antonov, that's what it is.
Antonov?
So anyway, if you have a Sutkowski and they have a daughter, her name is Sutkowska. Because it ends in an A because she's unmarried female.
Oh.
I was looking at my great
We
grandparents.
go everywhere, so
Yeah.
hold on.
My great grandparents, see,
You really can't tell how big that is by that picture.
no,
Have it with the landing gear down. The landing gear just gives it
put the
away.
landing gear down.
Yeah, can you put the landing gear down? And that's it.
No, so you need like one of them things where they show like a penny alongside of it for reference.
Yeah.
There's some
Right.
people
Oh
in
yeah.
Canada.
Go back to the
Down.
one with the 10 jets on the side or whatever.
That's Photoshopped.
Yeah.
This is with people in
No.
front of it.
Go back. Close that out.
This one?
No, close that out. Oh, go down. Oh, right here. Look at this. Look at that landing gear, man.
I want to put the Photoshop on there, make sure and make it look like we really know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Put the Photoshop one up there.
Now
Now see, I told you it's a big plane. Look,
that is huge.
so they're building a runway for this thing here, and there's a quarter of a mile thick of concrete going 25 miles.
Yeah.
It took up the whole island of Cuba. They took one half the island and they had to pave it. They had to land this thing.
Half of those are reverse engines.
So you fly in a circle? Yeah.
That's how it flies. It just
Right, yeah.
UFO.
Yeah, half of these are forward, half of them reverse, and he just
So we noticed that there was a runway being built.
yes, and they're like, you're not building a
Airport runway.
You're not building a commercial airport runway.
So that was our reason for sending up U2 planes. And we found that they were starting to build nuclear sites.
Right.
60 miles off the U.S. shore?
Where they
Roughly.
were building sites.
Well,
Out in the water?
Cuba.
Oh,
How
okay.
far is Cuba away from the United States?
I don't know.
Check that real quick. I don't think it's that far. I think it's like Russia's real far away.
We need like on David Letterman, like, give me some dialing music, Paul.
Yeah.
We got a guy over there playing piano.
But yeah, while he's bringing this up, we noticed that there's nuclear missiles being constructed there.
Right. No, they were shipping them in.
Yeah, but they were being constructed also.
Yeah, right.
They were on the back of trailers, and they had that. Why is it going to the middle of the
Yeah, I
United
just
States?
realized that.
Wouldn't it be from Cuba to Florida?
Yeah, hold on. You're right. I just realized that after I clicked on it.
To the middle of the United States. To the coast of Florida. $90 miles. It was 90 miles.
You ever
from
see
US.
those crafts that they make to
Out of washing machines?
to go? I was gonna say, there was one guy that he took a 50 Chevy pickup truck and he put 55-gallon barrels around it. He tied on it. He took the drive shaft and he put a propeller on it, and he was driving his 50 Chevy truck.
But how
Florida.
bad is it where you want to escape a place like that?
Yeah. Well, the thing is because they have free health care and free free school there.
Shouldn't we be going there?
They have free health care, and they were so damn healthy and so smart they had to get out of there.
Yeah.
They couldn't. It's like I can't
Socialism.
stand it anymore.
Yep.
I'm so healthy and smart that I gotta leave.
So Bernie's a big Cuba supporter. But back to that. We found that I believe we had a U2 that even crashed.
In Russia.
Was it in Russia or was it in Cuba?
Was that Gary Powers?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You knew something I didn't know. Look at him. He's like, yeah, in Russia. Bastard. So we tell Russia, hey, no, you're not going to put weapons over here in Cuba. We tell Cuba, hey, no, not going to happen. Not 90 miles away from us. Although we have them, you can't have them. And we're the only ones in the world that's ever used a nuclear weapon. You can't because you're crazy.
We have experience.
Yeah.
Pushing that button.
I always found that amazing that we police who can have nuclear weapons. Well, they'll use them.
Yeah.
But we're the only ones that ever have.
Yeah.
So give the craziest.
You're too crazy to have nuclear weapons. Give them to us.
Yeah, we'll use them.
Yeah.
Freaking idiots. But it's safe.
But you know, I wonder what they're telling people on the other side about us. See.
I don't care. I just.
Yeah.
It's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We saved millions of American troops' lives. But how many Japanese people did we kill?
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a minute. I believe Truman had something to show, and Truman was a dick. Yes, Missouri people, Truman was a dick and killed hundreds of thousands of people and didn't care, women and children, and he knew he was going to kill innocent women and children. To blame all Japanese people for what the Japanese government did, which we're the first, Roosevelt's the one who did an act of war upon Japan by denying them, what is that called? You put where you don't let them get supplies.
Tariff?
Not a tariff.
No.
It's an act of war. It's an easy word. Everybody who's watching already knows it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was saying, hey, you can't give Japan the stuff. We refuse to sell you this stuff. It's steel.
Sanctions, you mean?
I don't know what it is, but it was an act of war. And then, but anyway, this is JFK, not Roosevelt. But go ahead.
When I was working on an apartment, and I was taking some walls out, and they used to stuff the walls with newspapers.
Yeah.
For insulation. And I'm pulling it out, and I pull out of newspaper 1933.
Wow.
And there was an article in there, and they're saying like, oh, the relations between the U.S. and Japanese have soured. Like,
wait a couple of years. Just give it a minute.
They're not sour yet.
Yeah. But so anyway, we tell them no. Fine. It was a 13-day standoff Kennedy had, and we were on. That's the closest we've ever been to nuclear war with another country, where they were going to actually. They had the same weapons as we had. So
that we know of.
Yeah. So it was 13 days. We avoided it by saying, oh, okay, take out these nuclear weapons. We'll remove weapons out of Turkey, and we'll take away one plane every year. What kind of plane was that? I forgot. Like aeroplane. That's the kind of aeroplane. Yeah, we had to remove one bomber a year for so many years. Kennedy was seen as a pushover for making a deal and not going to nuclear war with Russia and not bombing Cuba. And then again, this is a matter of 3 years, not even a whole term as president. And then you go to the Operation Northwoods, where it came from the Joint Chief of Staff, Nimitz, I believe his name was, passed all the way up to the president where he could sign it. To go to war with Cuba, we would crash planes into buildings. Who would ever think of that?
Yeah.
Bomb movie theaters, shoot down civilians, and blame it on the Cubans for going to war. That is a what is it? A not true banner?
Oh yeah. A fake banner.
Yeah, a fake banner.
Fake banner.
False flag operation, which has been done many times in the United States. Yet, if you say false flag, you're a conspiracy theorist and not. The Maine, remember the Maine? What's another famous false flag that you know
Bob. No, I don't know.
Bob.
No.
Where the hell did that come from?
You said name something. That's all I can come up with. It was the Tonka Bay.
Oh, the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin. Yeah.
That's it. Johnson did that.
Yeah, because that's why I was saying earlier that no, we went there on false pretenses.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
I mean, That's what I was getting
at to bring in ground troops.
the Gulf of Tonkin.
Gulf of Tonkin.
Gulf Tonkin.
The Gulf of Tonkin Resolution.
Yes.
Yes, it's where
Tonka Bay.
If you don't know what that is, it's where the ship named the Maddox said it was fired upon by North Vietnamese naval ships. Come to find out, it never happened.
No.
So, over 56,000 American boys died. Millions of Vietnamese.
On a lie.
On a lie. From the military industrial complex.
Yeah.
So
tell a big lie, we'll make a bunch of money.
Yep. So we're 3 years in. Now we're dealing with the facts now.
Just the facts.
And like Joe says, that we know of. These are the facts that we think
we're allowed to have.
And when we say facts, we're not saying, okay, this is a narrative that we were given, which don't seem too controversial. I guess that's what you'd say. Because I don't believe we know anything that we can say, oh, this is a fact. But we're dealing with the little things. All right. So we'll get into Kennedy's visit in 1963 to Texas. Lyndon Johnson knew that Kennedy was planning on getting rid of him coming his next term. He was going to get a new vice president. Now, this is speculation. This is what people are saying, that, but it's pretty well taken as fact that Kennedy was going to get himself a new vice president come the election year, which was 1964, right? 64.
Yeah.
Okay.
60 plus 4.
Oh, jeez. Come on. All right. Joe can add to 4.
Just help out.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Kennedy decides to go down because he needs Texas support. The Democrats are divided down in Texas, so they decide they're going to take a trip down to Texas. Now, Jackie Kennedy wasn't going to go. She had just had a miscarriage and just got out of the hospital. It was her first trip out with the president since this happened. So she really didn't want to go, but she went with JFK said, hey, I need your support. People need to see we're reunited.
Hold my brains in.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That was over the edge. No, yeah. I'm not going to allow that to get edited. I want you to see the true Joe. So anyway.
These things just blur out.
So they land in San Antonio. I'm going to give you their itinerary for up till. They land in San Antonio. Maybe you know the air base that's there. I don't know what it is, but he gives a speech there, right? Then they fly to Fort Worth. They go straight to the hotel. The Hotel Texas is what it is. That morning he gives a speech. This was the 21st. No. This is the 22nd, I believe. He gives a speech at a breakfast thing he gives a speech outside the hotel. Then he gives a speech at a breakfast place, a breakfast meeting.
Waffle House.
Yeah. Bob Evans.
Yeah.
And he has a breakfast speech that he gives. And then they go to the airport in Fort Worth. They fly to Love's Field. We got a picture of them at Love's Field when they landed. Maybe we do. It would be on the desktop. It will say Loves Field.
There'd be a jet with like 30 engines across there.
Yeah.
Antonov.
You'll see Jack.
Antonov.
Yes, Antikov. And we lost connection.
No, I don't.
Oh, there we go. So they land at Loves Field.
This is where snipers were shooting at? Oh, no, that's
No.
Hillary.
No, yeah. And they ran for cover.
Yeah, after the little girl handed me the flowers, we had to duck down and...
Yeah. So, we're not going to get into conspiracy yet. Before we're through, we're going to get into a little bit of conspiracy, but we're going to stop right there. So they land here at Loves Field. Now, Kennedy was supposed to be hated in Texas. Supposedly they hated him. I believe it was a month before.
One guy did.
Yeah, well, I think it was more than one guy. But he had the warmest welcome in Dallas than he had anywhere else.
Oh, it's Texas. It was much warmer everywhere else.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wow.
It was a very warm welcome. Plus global warming, which we didn't realize at the time. But
I'm thinking Joshi realized she was going to do that. She's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Anyway, they show up and he breaks protocol. He goes up to the people, shakes hands and stuff. Of course, he wants to save face and he wants to, he needs their vote. So anyway, they go on to a motorcade, the motorcade. All right, this is what we know is a fact. I believe they're on Main. They make a right onto Houston.
No, I'm not sure because they changed the route.
They did change the route, and
because
then
I had to bring it by the grassy knoll.
yeah,
I mean the book.
the book deposit. Yes, and then they made a left onto, I believe, Elm is where he was shot on.
Elm Street.
Right there on Elm Street. But them 3 streets were in there, I promise. I think we have a photo or a graph of the assassination route. We're up here. Right there, Dilly Plaza. Yep. So they came up on Houston. They came up on Main Street, made a right onto Houston. Here's the book depository. My question is, first of all, if Oswald's in this building and he wants to get a clean shot, he has all this time to shoot him. Straight in front of him. But he's going to wait until he gets down here where there's trees blocking him and they're at an angle. If you're going to kill the president, I don't think you're going to.
He was just showing off.
Yeah, he was. His skill.
Nobody can make this shot.
But anyway, they go down here. Shots are fired, we know. Kennedy gets shot. Conley gets shot. He's in the car with Governor Conley, governor of Texas. Conley gets shot. And everybody's probably seen the Zapruder film where Kennedy's head explodes. Jackie, they say, was reaching for parts of his skull and brain matter and off the trunk of the car. Secret Service guy comes, covers it up. They speed off to the hospital. What hospital was that? If my wife was here, she'd tell me, because I know this. Parkland Hospital. And that's the outside of Parkland Hospital when the motorcade got there. President is in there. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of looking inside the limousine when they see pictures of the assassination, and there's yellow flowers in there, and they say, oh, this is the car. Man, it ain't that bad. That's not the car that they got shot in. You remember what the color of they were red roses, not yellow roses. There's a picture of the car in Parkland, which isn't real easy to find because they always bring up a limousine with yellow flowers in it just left in. That was Johnson's, I believe, limousine. Not there's when she's reaching. Now this photo's funny because it is. It is. And I didn't notice this until you really have to look, guys, at this photo because they said there was only 3 shots. At the beginning, when it first happened, they said there was 2 shots. Then they said, okay, we can't explain away this third shot. So there's 3 shots. I want you to look at this picture if you can see it. This is after the shooting was done. What is that on that front windshield? That's a bullet hole. If you look at all the other pictures of the limousine, there's a bullet hole in the windshield. I saw this. Because I wanted to say, hey, is that real? Because I thought, oh, it's Photoshop. So I got on a legitimate site, legitimate, what the government allows to come out. I'm like, holy crap, that's there.
Yeah.
See how that's... Where'd that come from? So that right there would make me think. All right. They say it's 3 shots. 1 missed. Hit the pavement. Down. What happened was a guy that was standing under the triple underpass. He got hit by fragments of concrete where a bullet had hit the sidewalk. And they have pictures of it. This happened. And it hit him in the face. He was bleeding. So there's your 3rd bullet. The other 2, first ones, they say the magic bullet, struck Kennedy in the neck, or in the back, they say, through the throat, through the jump seat, went through Conley's chest, into his wrist, out of his wrist, into his right wrist, out of his right wrist, into his leg, his left leg, hit the femur, bounced back up, and was right at the surface of the skin. So when he was put on a cart at the hospital, the bullet was just laying on the cart. And some intern or something walked by and picked up the bullet and said, oh, here it is.
Oh, now I gotta add another bullet.
No damage to the bullet. Nothing. I mean, the bottom of it is out around. What happens to a bullet when it hits a dense bone?
Flattens out.
It just,
It
anybody.
depends on what kind of bullet. Maybe if it's an eagle tail and it goes, it rips a hole in you.
Yeah, but you aren't going to have a pristine bullet, especially where you can see the rifling of the round. All the way up the whole bullet. The top was still rounded. There was more fragments in Conley than was off the bullet. Okay. Yeah, you got, like you said, you got to use rational thought. You see a bullet hole in the windshield, which is hard to see. If you back that off, you ain't going to see that. But I happened to see a picture of it at Parkland, a front view. Well, you know what Lyndon Johnson's first order was at Parkland before he left? Get that limousine out of here and get it restored. They gutted the thing and gave it to the Henry Ford Museum. They didn't use it as evidence. They didn't look in it. Look at the, bring up a picture of the car at Parkland. There's another picture. It's a color. Inside limo, yep. This is the actual limo that JFK got shot in. See, that's blood and brain matter. There's a colored one, I believe, that we have that's a little bit better. Parkland. Let's see.
There's not one that I can
Maybe
see.
there ain't. Is that bottom one the one that where we?
Yeah, this is the one
That
you
was one I
set
just
up.
clicked on.
Alright. Well, we had one, or I had one that was color.
I don't see any other colored ones besides.
But, anyway, it was, I mean, as you can see, there's blood and guts everywhere in there. And, so anyway, they get him to Parkland Hospital. They take him in. Johnson makes sure this car is gone. He told them, hey, get this car out of here. Why? Well, if there's proof of no more bullet holes in a windshield, you can't really say, hey, the bullet hole came from the back. It's going to be obvious which way the bullet came from. So anyway, they get him to Parkland Hospital. They take him in the trauma room 1. We got a picture of that. And the attending physician there's a bullet hole in his neck.
That's where the first one hit him.
But it's a small wound. Small wound is always what, Joe?
The entrance one.
Is the entrance wound. What happens when the bullet comes out?
It flans out and it tears everything out the backside.
Okay. So what they do, they started a tracheotomy. If you look up autopsy, up at the, close this, go to the desktop. And I know we're taking a lot of time doing this, but I want you to see. I just don't want to talk about it. If you go,
The autopsy?
if you close that and open up this Chrome here.
No, major chrome.
No.
This one?
I believe it's this. And you go to Crenshaw. All right. I want you to click on this
This one?
attachment. This is the wrong one.
They shot him with an arrow.
Yeah, this is the wrong one. Back out. Back out. Do this one. This is the actual photo of JFK after being assassinated. Zoom in if you can to this. They said that this was an exit wound, but the doctor said no, we started a tracheotomy. So we had to pull this apart to get the tube down there. If you don't know what a tracheotomy is, it's when they cut when you can't breathe, and that they have to cut a hole in your neck and put a tube down there so you can breathe. I don't think at the time he was breathing because the attending the attending
the fish on duty.
physician said that he was at the head and he looked, and as he was standing there, part of the brain fell out. The whole quarter part of the back of the head. There was no brain back there. It had fallen out. He said there was such a gap that he could have taken his fist and put his fist in this part of the head. All right. Not consistent with a gunshot wound in the back of the head. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Now this is what the attending physicians are saying.
More consistent with a fisting video.
Yeah. And we start off with it and we'll end with it.
Yeah.
So,
This is where the sense of humor came.
as you can see, I mean, obviously the physician said they're starting a tracheotomy there, and they have his mouth open because of
You want me to go
the
there?
teabagger. This poor man.
Yeah.
That's Joe Novak, 122 South. But yeah, I just wanted to show. I know it's gruesome, and a lot of people don't want to see this kind of thing, but we're gonna get a lot. Not as gruesome as the fisting video. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think he was the greatest president that lived, but no one deserves this.
Right.
Especially a politician.
Right.
And no one deserves to be fisted.
Right. Yeah.
I can believe you did that. I'm at loss.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know what the fuck to say now.
You can't top that. What do you say?
I can't. I guess it don't matter what I say at this point.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna top that.
Yep. We'll go on there,
So, we're gonna have keep on with the series on this. We're gonna start getting into the conspiracy, the people behind it, who could have been behind it. We had Joe and I were talking about the documents that Trump had just released, and but there's still pages missing.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be.
They lost those.
Yeah, well, just
they
like
loaned them out or something.
and you'll find that Kennedy's brain that was supposed to be preserved, it came up missing. They can't find it. It's gone. We're going to get into conspiracy things, starting at Parkland. Well, actually, starting before the assassination, we'll get into the conspiracy. We touched on some of it, but on our next video, we're going to get into...
touch a lot more.
What the fuck?
But,
we're
we're
You're lost there. You're stunned now. Yeah. So.
we're not family friendly anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe we shouldn't plan on making money from this.
Kennedy does Dallas.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, that's a good one. All right, you're with me now. Man.
All right, yeah.
We're down in the ditch together.
Yeah. So, it is so terrible that you made that comment with this man's picture on the screen.
Yeah, well.
Join the Libertarian Party.
Freedom, man.
No, but we're gonna delve into a lot of tinfoil stuff next video. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with Joe.
Yes.
Hey, do us a favor. We're doing great, guys. We got people subscribing. We got people watching. But do us a favor. Subscribe if you watch.
Like.
Hit the like button. And you guys, we want to thank you guys for helping us out, giving us your support, and watching the videos. And hit that notification bell. That way you know.
Select
That
all.
yeah. That way you know when we put out our next video right away. And you might be the first one to see it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Next time. Later.